They say that goodness in life belongs to those who believe. So I believe. Yes.
Now, if you take a look at the bottom of page 26, this is a really cool quote, so I want to read it to you guys. Because of the advanced culture the ancient Hawaiians had, and remember, the ancient Hawaiians, they're the ones that created surfing. They basically had everything they needed. They had a lot of free time to focus on recreation. And surfing was born purely out of recreation, of having fun. So surfing's the study of waves. We're going to talk about it a little bigger than just actually being in the ocean later. We're going to talk about how all things travel in waveforms, from the neural signaling from your seat as you're moving around, to the light waves that are hitting your eyes, to the microwaves that cook your popcorn. Everything essentially is carried, all energy is essentially carried in waveform. Even if we look at matter, and we look at the smallest bits of matter, we see that it exists in waveform and probability. So those are the three levels that we're actually going to work at. And it's a simplification once you've learned how to count. Then you can just practice arithmetic. So, in order to practice recreation, and this is where we're getting to the assessment. In order to learn recreation, I want to help you guys learn it well. I want to help you guys learn how to do it all time. Here's our principles of efficient learning or effective learning. Number one, I'm going to remind you guys to relax. If pain occurs, slow down the range of motion. Now, what's pain? How do we define it? It's an action signal, right? And it's anything that creates startle. So anything that we can breathe through, relax and breathe through, that's not pain. Make sense? So here's the assessment. You guys ready? It has 7 steps. 7. It has 7 for a couple reasons. One, 7's like the number of things you can keep in your conscious awareness, your working memory. They say 7 plus or minus 2. Plus 7's like a lucky number. If you go to the casino, it's a lucky number. But really, I picked 7 because I wanted to do this. And show you that this isn't a gun, but it's a drill. I knew you'd like that. I did that for you because I know you like props, right? But remember, what's the difference between a coach and a critic? Yes. And coaches have a drill to help you. Whenever you have 7, you always have a drill. I was on a phone call with Kathy in the beginning of this whole process. She said, you know what? You better have a drill. And I said, cool. I got it. There's my drill. 7 steps. Here's the 7 steps. Oh, there's the drill. Did I got y'all back now? Okay, cool. First step, it's dynamic autonomous. This is what we're becoming. We're learning how to recreate or recreate on the fly, on the move, all the time. Now, you guys already learned some self-assessments, like at Essentials, right? Active range of motion self-assessments, strength self-assessments. But the only problem is you have to stop and do them. Remember, you're always adapting, so I think one of the missing pieces was having a tool that we could use all the time. It doesn't replace coaching. Everyone needs a coach. But none of us can spend as much time with our coaches as we spend with ourselves. So the first step is that it's dynamic and autonomous. We're becoming recreational. Like it says, present awareness presents options. Step 2, it's a reminder. Stop and be present. Everything you need is going on right now. Everything's happening right now. Everything that happened before, that's the past. This stuff that's going to happen in the future, we really can't forecast it well anyhow. So remember, everything is happening right now. Third step is orientation. I like this quote: "The educator, above all else, must understand how to wait, to reckon," which means to count, "all effects in light of the future, not of the present." Now, what that means is when I ask you to check your orientation, I'm asking you, what are you moving towards? Are you becoming freer or more confined? So whenever we do this, people are going to check different places. Some people like to check their hands and see what type of tension they have in their hands or in their shoulders. Some people check their feet. Some of you may check your face, facial tension. Everyone will find out where you tend to hold or create your tension first as you practice. So the orientation is, what are you moving towards? Number 4, we're going to listen. And I'm going to ask you guys to stop and do this right now. I want you to see if you can listen for 5 sounds. Now, it's a little harder to do inside. There's not as much novelty in the environment as there is outside, where you have birds and wind. But see right now if you can hear 5 discrete sounds. Maybe hear the person next to you breathing. You might hear the hum of the air conditioner in here. You may hear cars going by in the street. You may hear people walking in the other room. And it's okay if you don't get 5. What I'm asking you for is to begin to notice what's going on. You guys are all familiar with tunnel vision, right? You know what happens when we get stressed out to our vision? When we get overstressed, what happens to our vision? Yeah, it tunnels, it shrinks. Are you aware that that happens with your hearing as well? You probably remember from our phase hearing that the fastest startle we have is an auditory startle. We hear a noise, bang, and we turn and we look to see what it is and protect ourselves from it. But along with that, we have tunnel vision. We also get tunnel hearing. Excuse me. Speaking of ears. So as we're going through this practice for the rest of today and for the rest of the week, see if you can become aware of what you're hearing. Then we're going to look. When we look, to begin, what I'm going to ask you to look for is the horizon. But not only in front of you, off to the sides as well, peripherally. So we've been practicing peripheral awareness for some time. Be aware of the horizon in front and off to the sides. It goes on. If we were in a big parking lot, the horizon would be over there and out there. You guys, can you visualize that? So whenever, even when we're moving around, see if you can visualize that horizon. Now here's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to talk to our coach, our self-coach. And the way that we're going to do this is we're actually going to vocalize or make a noise like our old primate cousins can. I like to say I want to talk to my coach. So what I do, it sounds like this. I'll inhale, I'll exhale, and it doesn't matter what sound you make, really, but I like to use that sound. I like the buzz. And the reason that we want to add this vocalization, well, if we look at our motor homunculus up here, what's the biggest part? Which part makes the vocalization? Remember, areas of the brain with the biggest representation have the greatest potential for what? Creating change. So what I'm going to ask you to do, and we're actually going to take a break, and I'm going to let you guys move around. You can go outside. You can walk around for about 10 minutes or so. And just notice if you can stand comfortably or step comfortably, hear 5 sounds, be aware of the horizon, and talk to yourself.
Word. Yeah. So we sing. Me the one, no I teach ya. Me the one, no I